What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, my sister, Danica, and my brother.
What's up, everybody? Oh, Derek.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't name you this time. Thought I'd change it up on you. My bad. But this week, you guys, we are talking about Black Panther. We have reached Black Panther in our MCU rewind, and we're going to see what we thought about it after watching it. I would say for a second time, but I'm going to be honest, it's been like my 10th time watching this movie. I've watched it a lot. So, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. I have watched it a bunch of times. So I lost count on how many times I have watched it, but
yeah,
I haven't. I've seen it 3 times.
I enjoy watching it again.
You've only seen it 3 times?
Yeah, I've only seen it 3 times. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think 10 was an exaggeration, but I've definitely seen it a bunch. But yeah, I guess I'll just start by saying, yeah, obviously I think this movie's good. There are some issues with it, but for the most part, think it's a very enjoyable movie. Marvel, this was part of the like line of movies where Marvel really hit it out of the park, and especially leading up into Infinity War. Of course, they had it come out in February. I think it was 2017. So
2018.
Yeah.
I think.
Even though it is based in Africa, it still meant a lot to a lot of people of color around the world. Besides just Africans, but also meant a lot in Africa. We saw a lot of praise come from it, Africa as well. I think the directing was great. Obviously, the acting was excellent. Chadwick Boseman, who recently passed away, did an excellent job in the role. So yeah, it's an iconic movie for a lot of reasons, and I think it will remain that way for a long time.
Yeah, I think this was one of the few movies where I felt like it had to be good, because I think there's like so much writing on it, because we're at a time where a lot of people didn't think a movie where 90% of the cast is, African or Black or whatever could be successful, or could be as successful as the other movies. And I think a lot of credit goes to Ryan Coogler, the director, and other people who did a lot of time to put a lot of heart into this movie, and also to do a lot of research to make sure that African culture was represented in a good way.
Yeah.
And I really think they did a lot of things of incorporating like just African culture and design and stuff into like this modern society, which was really nice because, we're kind of supposed to be like this technologically advanced thing, but it lies in the heart of Africa. And I really like how, like, even with just like with, the costumes and the language they spoke and the things they wore, that they put a lot of effort in that to kind of like to show the best part of Africa, which is good because a lot of people had doubts on whether or not this could be successful. Even with that, I will say this movie is a little overrated in a way. Like, it is a very good movie, but it did not deserve to be nominated for an Oscar.
Oh no, yeah, I agree with that. Excellent movie, but in the same way, I don't think Infinity War deserves to be nominated for an Oscar. I don't think Black Panther does either. It doesn't have. I mean, yeah, I don't know if it deserves an Oscar nomination, except for what it won the Oscar for. Didn't it win for like the soundtrack?
For Best Original Score, which was not the soundtrack, but the original score, which was done by Ludwig Göransson. I'm probably mispronouncing his last name.
Yeah, but he does the Mandalorian
You're right.
theme as well. Yeah.
And again, he also did a lot of research on, African, music and stuff, and incorporated a lot of that into the things, which, I mean, the music in this movie is dope. Like, not just like Kendrick Lamar and that soundtrack is cold, but even the music that they play when like,
the score
walks into a room. Yeah. So it won for Best Costume Design, absolutely deserved that.
Yeah.
Best Production Design, absolutely, and Best Original Score. So it won the Oscars it deserved, but I just feel like it shouldn't even have been nominated.
Yeah. So I want to make it clear, when we say an Oscar, we mean the Oscar for the best movie of the year. Like, I don't think it was the best movie of the year. Although I do think they should start including more of the popular movies into the Oscars and even some of the other things, because a lot of times they're just looking at these, I don't know, these really weird movies that are supposed to be artistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, but it was a very good movie nonetheless. I know people would disagree on our take on that Oscar thing, but I think it won where it deserved it, which I think is a good testament for the Oscars that year. I'm going to put a little quotation, that year. Because the Oscars, there's a lot of bad things to say about them. But but that is a testament for at least that year. That movie won where it deserved.
I felt like it was, I felt like it was a good representation of of Africa. There's like a lot of times when we think of Africa, and I'm like, not even necessarily when it comes to movies, we always think of like the poor countries or the poor areas, you know, and it's like Africa is a continent, you know, it's like there's many countries in the continent that are well off, or some have well off areas.
Yeah, some have well off areas.
Yeah.
Obviously. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was like, you know, of course, Wakanda is not a real place, but it's just like, just to finally have a decent movie, whereas there's like people are not poor and sickly, you know, and a right representation, of that it's actual Black people playing the character and not white people playing Africans.
Wait,
or Egyptian or whoever.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Egyptians.
Way from at least I hope we're a long way from that still happening.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what movie you saw white people play in African? But I mean, I guess you were talking about Egyptians, I guess. Yeah, you can do that. But I was gonna say this is also a testament for Marvel when they created the character and their idea to like, hey, what if there was a nation in Africa that, like, what would they be like if, you know, Africa was never colonized and had its resources taken from it and stuff, which is an interesting idea. It's not Marvel's idea, obviously. I think it's something called Afrofuturism or whatever. But they took that and they designed this country after that, and I think they had a really good idea. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, but it looks great, especially in the movie. I think Wakanda looks great. The way that they integrated, like, just the African themes with modern technology looks awesome. It's interesting, you know, a way to modernize it while keeping things looking like it was traditional African architecture and stuff like that. I thought was awesome.
I think that first shot of Wakanda, like when after they do the fight to rescue, I'm gonna put rescue in quotation marks because they just left them woman in the woods for real. But
that is true. Like, what's stopping them from getting like captured again?
Yeah. But like when you're following the plane in and you hit Wakanda, like that initial view where you're seeing, like, you know, the animals running, which is shout out to the Lion King, is like the same thing. In the trees, but then you see like this, you know, this advanced country, and it looks amazing. I mean, this movie has some shoddy CGI, especially at the end. But the first view of Wakanda looks amazing. And it kind of like drops you into like this whole new world of something that you've never seen before. So I think they did a really good job at that.
Yeah. The writing, which I think Ryan Coogler had a hand in the writing of the movie. Excellent. I think it was an excellent story. I know a lot of people, oh, it was Lion King. Not exactly.
No,
but
it wasn't.
The story was appealing. When you talked about the villain, obviously he's a psychopath. But his underlying ideas, I think, appeal to people because a lot of people feel oppressed or are oppressed in a lot of different places around the world. and they can understand what he means. But I think the movie did a good job of presenting two extremes. Are you extreme like Wakanda and just closing everything off to the world, or do you go the other end in extreme like Killmonger was, where no, you're going to take over the rest of the world? And then like, where do you get that happy medium, which at the end of the movie is where T'Challa is trying to take Wakanda. So I think like that kind of storytelling is interesting, and you don't have like this one note villain, not this guy that's just evil for being evil. He actually has a real gripe. His solution for his problem is completely off base, but he has a real reason to be angry, which makes it more interesting.
This is what Ryan Coogler said the theme of the movie is, which I like wrote down. I'm just gonna say it word for word. It says it's about responsibility and identity. When it says like, you know, what does the powerful old those in need? So like basically Killmonger is like, we have all of this technology, all of these things, but we're not doing anything with it. It says like, so what separates the good guys from the villains, right? Is Wakanda just as bad as everyone else if they can help and not help? And like, that's kind of a good point, right? And then it says that if you have all of this stuff, but you're not using it to help anyone, what are you? And if Wakanda pretends to be a third world country, which a lot of people see Africa as, you know, while everyone else around them is really struggling, you know, it's like, you know, who was standing up for these people? So it's kind of just like, yeah, but T'Challa at the end of the movie also had a good point, is like, but you know, waging war with the rest of the world, you become just like the people you hate.
Yeah, I like that line where he said you've become them, and it's like yeah, because that's what they did, right? You're just going to put yourself in shoes, and then you're going to oppress some other people, and you're going to do the exact same thing to them. So you know, at the end, it's not a solution.
No, but at the same time, maybe he did get T'Challa to do things differently than what his father did, because his father, I don't know what he was doing. I think that, again, a case of Marvel having bad fathers. These people should not have kids.
They should not have kids at all.
At least he was better than Odin. Like he raised his children well. He just made some bad decisions while king.
Right.
But I also like that line that his father gave him in, I don't know, do you call those hallucinations? I feel like those are hallucinations, because one thing when they go into,
they call it as part of the astral plane though.
Yeah, but guess to me it's like, how are they the only race of people that gets to experience this and the rest of the world doesn't? They hide. They take that plant
and get high.
They be lit, and then they have a hallucination. But yeah, when he talked to his father in that, and he said it's hard for a good man to be king, I think there was a lot of weight to that line, you know, and you know, that probably underlined the fact that his father wasn't always a good man. He tried to put being king over it, but it was obviously a wrong decision.
Yeah. And I mean, there always goes with the line where it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely. So it's just like sometimes you make decisions where you think it was a good decision at the time, ends up later on that was not a good decision you made.
Yeah. And also I think it pointed out like the dangers of constantly following tradition. The fact that Killmonger could even be king, even knowing who he was. Like, that's the dangers of blindly following tradition. Even with the Dora Milaje, like, oh, he's king, we're going to follow him. Like,
yeah, just like, I mean, this guy is wrong, you know, like all of a sudden he makes orders and then you just like, well, we have to do it. Do you though? Because this guy came off the street, right? And he's telling you to burn the purple magic flowers, and you know, like I want to battle for the thing. And even then, it's like they skipped all the steps, right? He just went right in and said that I should fight for the crown. There was, you know, steps they should have to follow, and they just skipped right over all of that. So now, it was,
question about the heart-shaped herb. They had to have like seeds saved somewhere, right?
That's like, my Netflix. We gonna talk about this.
Okay, all right.
Just wait, because I don't understand.
They have to because they need somebody else to be Black Panther. I mean,
Well,
it could be easily
they
explained.
Marvel's gonna yada yada on how someone else can be Black Panther for sure. They definitely gonna be like, oh yeah, you didn't know we had this hidden room full of heart shaped orbs. Please, you didn't, but for movie sake, okay.
Yeah, it's something like there's gonna be something with that. But yeah, I like that. I like how it did leave Africa. It didn't take place just in Africa. You know, you had your scenes in South Korea, which actually was excellent. That was an excellent scene. Well, both the one in the casino and the car chase, which car chases it can be hard to pull off. That was a good car chase, in my opinion.
Which is why they were done practically. You know how I feel about those. So they built a real casino. Everything was real, but the ceiling, and I was like, what? But okay. And the car chase was done for real. And then they like cut in parts that that they had to do on the sound stage. Like she was really riding on top of the car, but I think like putting the spear through the roof was done in front of the green screen, but whatever.
Yeah, that would have to be CGI because I'm not sure the physics work out on that, but
well, the car crashing into the spear, they really had it crash into like a little.
They put a pole up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they did that, but yeah, it was something else that they did for fake. But yeah, the South Korean scene was done pretty well. She was talking about that. I think Martin Freeman and God, what's that guy's name? Andy something or another. Andy
Serkis.
Yes. I wanted to say Sudeikis, and I'm like, that is not right.
That is not Sudeikis.
No, not even close.
That's what an S. But
okay.
I thought they were done really well. I honestly don't really understand the point of Everett Ross. I know he's in the comics, but I just feel like he's like every other guy. He's just like the guy who died. So I really don't understand his point.
I feel like they wanted to use him maybe people were saying maybe use him for the Red Hawk since the other Ross wasn't being used, but they brought him back. So I don't know. I mean, I like his character though.
I do like his character, but do y'all not feel like he's kind of like Phil Coulson? Which why they didn't just have Ross in from the very beginning?
Oh, you think he's a fill-in for Phil Coulson? I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know he exists in comics. I just feel like he's just Phil Coulson, really.
But I feel like they brought him back in this particular movie just so they can have a strong tie-in to the other movies, because it's like, okay, well, who did Black Panther interact with? He was only in Civil War, and we're not bringing any of the Avengers in here. They could have done the Winter Soldier thing, but I think it would have taken away from the movie, so it was a good idea not to. So, yeah, he was like, well, they know him, and I think that's why he was in the movie. I'm going to be dead serious. That's probably why.
He doesn't seem out of place, but I just think, do we need him? No. Was he out of place? No, but we didn't need him. Yeah, which, I mean, I do want to say also, them introducing those two characters in Civil War to me worked out so well, because then we can just jump right into Black Panther and don't need a whole lot of explanation. Even though we got some, we wasn't really bogged down by like an origin story, you know?
Yeah, or background, like an extensive background on it.
I like
down.
Oh, I was gonna say I like the way Marvel does this. I think is good, which is why their connectivity works, because you don't need to have a lot. Like if you didn't see Civil War, Black Panther's line was, "Oh, I see an old American friend who works for the CIA." Boom. That's all you need to know. He knows him. He works for the CIA, and you're in. But if you watch Civil War, then you have even more to go off of. And I think that's why their connectivity works so much, because for some of these movies, I'm going to say some of these movies, you don't have to watch the previous movies in order to understand. And of course, the big team up movies, you have to pretty much watch everything. But yeah, I like how they do it.
Up until, I want to say, Infinity War, you could get by without not having seen the other movies. But when you watch Infinity War, if you haven't seen the rest of them, you're lost.
I've seen that some people were like, they watched Endgame without watching anything else, and I was like, that is the wrong movie to watch. Like, what do you understand in Endgame?
Yeah.
Someone I work with saw
Yeah,
Infinity
that's
War, but
tough to
only
do.
seen like Captain America, and they were like, I didn't know who none of these people were. Who is this guy, and where did this person come from? And I'm like, well, you missed 20 movies. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, that was an extreme bad idea. That was extreme bad idea. But this movie in particular, you can watch without seeing any of the other, the rest of the MCU, and I think it will work well.
I do like that with the individual movies though, that you can do that.
Yeah.
Like you can watch that movie, though that particular movie, and be okay.
Yeah, most of the
And,
solo films, I think you only have to see the previous films in that series. Like if you're watching the Thor movies, you have to watch all the Thor movies. Ragnarok has Hulk in
Yeah.
it, but like, you know, it's not that big of a deal.
No, it's not. No, because they explain on why Hulk is there in Ragnarok, so you don't have to
you would have to watch
necessarily know how he got there.
You know, like, do you have to see Iron Man 1 to understand Iron Man 2?
No,
Yeah, kind
not
of.
really. It's better to watch Iron Man 1. I mean, but no, you would still understand it. You know, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know why he has the
Uh,
device in his chest and whatnot, but
Yeah, but you can skim over that. He's a superhero. Do you really need a reason why?
no, I guess not.
Well,
Anything else to talk about? All right, we mentioned the story, acting, directing, the music, the yeah, a lot of good things about this. It what what did I say? CGI. You mentioned it. It was kind of, it was good in some places, and in other places, man, it I don't know. Did they
it
not finish it?
yeah.
It's the question.
it was bad in some places, which made me wonder, like, did Marvel just like not give them the good guys, or like like yeah, like even in some, like, I feel like the little rhino that they were using looked it weird. Some of the background shots were clearly this is a green screen, and then that last scene with them fighting each other was just awful.
Yeah, that was a really bad scene.
Yeah.
That was a really
I
bad scene.
honestly feel like sometimes with these movies with the CGI, I think they try to do too much. That's what I felt like with some of the CGI with this movie. I think they, with these movies, we have become so dependent on CGI that we try to do too much.
Well, what you
And
don't want to do for certain is um have a full CGI fight where all parties involved is CGI. I think it's bad. It's easier when it's being choreographed by someone and then touched up with CGI. I think we mentioned it before. Like obviously the train had to be CGI, but you got to think about it. The train has to be CGI. Both Killmonger and Black Panther are both CGI. They're both black. It's dark. It just looks wonky. The physics look bad. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
yeah,
Since so much of that fight was just pure CGI, like, could we have not had them do the actual choreograph for that instead of just straight up CGI in them? Especially since they took the time out to build the track for real. So I'm like, if you took the time out to build the track, maybe you should have took the time out to have them, I don't know, or their doubles suspended on wires punching each other or something. It would have looked better.
Definitely would look better. But I don't know if they had the time or the funds or the resources to do it with the movie. But yeah, not so great considering like the fight above ground so far that looked fine. Even with like both of them are in their suits and it looked fine. Can we also mention? I need Marvel to stop doing this where the hero fights someone who's exactly like him at the end of the movie. You got Iron Man fights another Iron Man
yep,
twice. Iron Man 1 and 2 fights essentially another Iron Man. Hulk fights another Hulk. Captain America fights another super soldier. I'm like, can we stop doing this? Black Panther fights somebody else in another Black Panther suit and's got the Black Panther heart-shaped herb thing going on. Man, please.
but do you know that their arch nemesis in the comic books are the exact copy of them. It's just the opposite.
It was dumb in the comics and it's dumb now. But now that we're older and smarter, we should say, hey, what if he didn't fight his clone? You know, I mean, Black Panther also has other villains he can fight. It'd be nice if we had used some of those.
Yeah, and then a lot of his villains are now good. Nakia is a villain. Lupita Nyong'o's character is actually a villain in the comics. And then you've got M'Baku. I was going to call him by his comic book name, but obviously we're not calling him that. M'Baku, he's a good guy, it seems now. I can't see a reason for him going bad, especially after Infinity War and Endgame. And now that we're not going to have a T'Challa Black Panther, I can't see him going bad.
Yeah, no. So those two people, they're good in the movies, and I feel like they're going to stay good in the movies. However, Black Panther does have some other enemies, especially since now that Marvel has the rights to everyone. We can definitely have the Submariner.
Yes.
How would I love that?
I still say do Submariner. I know we lost chat with Boseman, but I think he's an enemy of Wakanda, right? I still say we do Submariner.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
I feel like they are leaning towards that now since they confirmed that there will be a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, hey, you know what I just thought? Right now, hot take, because there was some news that Joseph Gordon-Levitt talked with Marvel. We don't know about what. Do you think he would make a good Submariner?
Can he get that?
His look, yes. He can look like Submariner with very minimal makeup. But I don't know how his acting would be.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
That's what you're questioning? I'm questioning whether or not, because I see the Submariner, I'm thinking he's so small. he's but not even just height wise. I don't know. Can you imagine picture him walking up to be the Submariner?
Marvel bulks everybody up though. You don't think he'll get there?
You think he can get as big?
Hey, Chris Evans wasn't that big. Let's be honest.
Or Chris Evans? Huh?
You said Chris Evans. I'm sorry. I was saying I was thinking Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Chris Evans.
Chris Evans wasn't that big. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I think he would do good. All you need is
the right nutritionist and dietitian.
Yes, dietitian. Yeah.
I mean, I can see it. I feel like certainly you got the look. I don't know. He also needs the body to go with it.
Now that I just thought of it, it has to happen. In my mindscape, he's Submariner now. He's absolutely he's Submariner right now, and that has to happen. Nothing else. Black Panther 2.
Who are they going to get to play the Fantastic Four characters? Because apparently Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans are different characters now.
Why
would they?
Fantastic Four right now?
I don't know.
Huh?
Isn't he more of an X-Men character? Oh, yeah. Isn't he more?
Submariner?
Yeah, he's a mutant.
He's a mutant. I don't understand. He has nothing to do with the Fantastic Four.
He's a rival to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because Sue Storm, and he loves Sue Storm.
He wants to marry Sue Storm.
That's who he want to marry? He can find anybody else.
Yeah, but it's already set. They want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt to be Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
I mean, the Fantastic Four is not special. They can pick anybody off the street to play those 4 people, and it wouldn't matter.
Obviously not, considering the last movie.
Well, those were also just bad movies, too.
Yeah. With Johnny Storm, I don't know.
Fantastic Four, can we not go with straight to Doctor Doom?
I don't think they're going to.
Have Doctor Doom. What else? I don't know.
Yeah, who else do they fight? Galactus? That's too big.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it's too big.
Which is why we shouldn't have a Fantastic Four movie, because they're boring.
Just have them fight somebody else's villain. It's not hard.
I mean, all of them in New York.
Yeah.
Everybody shares Spider-Man's villains and Daredevils.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But back to Black Panther. Since we talked about Black Panther too, what are you guys' thoughts on it? Now, I thought the other day, and I know y'all might have disagreed. I was like, I think Nakia would actually make a good Black Panther. I already expressed on the podcast why I don't think it should be Shuri. I like the character. She just doesn't seem like a athletic character in the movies, you know, to be a Black Panther.
She's going to be a different type of Black Panther, but are we going in the comics? In the comics, she does take over as a Black Panther. I agree with you that she doesn't now seem to really fit that role. But if they were following in that footsteps, then it would be her. But I feel like Nakia would definitely do it. I don't feel like what's the other one? The one that Denai plays?
Who? I forget her name. The Dora Milaje.
I feel like she would fit perfectly, but then she would never get from being a Dora Milaje though.
Yeah, I don't think they'll use her. Yeah. She's a good fit.
I would say this though. I would say this. They still sticking with Natalie Portman, Jane Foster being Thor. Then they might still go with Black Panther's sister being Black
Here's
Panther.
The different though. Thor doesn't have to be athletic. He just has to punch things, right? He doesn't have to be that type of athletic. Like your Spider-Man has to be an athletic character. Like, you know, they've got to be able to do those type of fights. Iron Man? No. You know, he doesn't have to be. Black Panther is one of those characters where, like, okay, he should be able to do some, like, crazy athletic things.
He has to be a skilled fighter.
Yeah. We can make Natalie Portman punch somebody and then just show them fly really far away. It's not that hard. But yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is like Shuri in the movie seems more of a Q, and it's like if Q becomes James Bond. You know what I'm saying? It feels weird. She's more technology.
I think she can pull it off though.
Wait a minute.
I think she can pull it off.
What are the rules? Does it have to stay within the bloodline?
It's whoever. No, that the Black Panther.
What I'm saying is that so she would be next in line, right? And then someone would have to challenge her for it, right?
Right.
She would be next in line for the throne, unless here's why I was saying Nakia, because at the end of the movie, T'Challa and Nakia got back in their relationship. Who's to say that they didn't, in between now and Black Panther 2, get married and then T'Challa dies at some point? Wouldn't it go to her since she's queen?
I'm not sure. No, because his sister's still next in line, I think, right?
Okay. I think you're right. His sister would be next in line.
Someone can come yell at me about how monarchies work. I don't know.
I'm not really sure. His sister might still be next in line.
I think his sister might be next in line, and I'm not even sure. Now, granted, we did have this whole thing, so maybe they're not going to hold on to tradition as they used to.
That's true, because I was going to say, can we see, now the fights are without powers or anything. Can we see Shuri winning without technology or powers against anyone?
Who's to say that she's never trained? Since the Black Panther's in the family, she could have trained and know it all. Okay. But, you know, if you don't need to use it, you don't use it.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We'll see what they do. I know people have been saying M'Baku, which I'm like, hey, that's great, but there's storyline problems with that. Since he's part of the Jabari, he follows Hanuman, and so he wouldn't be a Black Panther. He would never put on the Black Panther mantle because he doesn't follow Bast, which is the Panther. So story-wise, it doesn't work.
He would be my first choice.
Yeah, I get it. I get it 100%. I think he would be awesome. But story-wise, it would be messed up. He would have to be then it doesn't work. He would have to be the Black Gorilla. We're not calling him Man-Ape for reasons. And then now we just have so many other issues.
But at the same time, I'd like him for where he is in the, you know what I mean? Like we said how he wouldn't become a villain in these movies.
Yeah, I mean,
better if him and the Jabari's tribe stay where they were. I felt like it fits them better. Although I think he would make a great Black Panther. I do like the story he has better.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Agreed.
Did we cover all of the other movie things before we get into random movie facts?
Can I express my sadness that I can't have a T'Challa Storm relationship?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, it is really sad that we would not get Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa anymore. That is like you've seen so much, not just for the Black Panther movies, but for the MCU as a whole, with him being a part of it. And then sadly he dies before any of that could be realized. It is, yeah, it's disappointing.
Yeah, not to mention his work outside of the MCU. He did he was an excellent actor.
Yeah, that, and he was really starting to come into his own as an actor, like really starting to get more starring roles. I mean, granted, he did like 42 and Marshals and all of that, but I feel like he was getting really more, becoming a more mainstream actor, becoming more of a household name, and now he's gone.
Yeah, that sad toll. In rewatching this movie, though, I did appreciate the tribute that Marvel gave to him at the beginning of this movie. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a small thing, but it was pretty cool to see.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
I will say, speaking of Storm, I will forever be disappointed that Angela Bassett couldn't play Storm, and then the person I wanted to play Storm can't be Storm because she was already in this movie.
Wait, who did you want to play Storm?
The person who plays Nikita.
Oh, Lupita Nyong'o. Oh, she would make a good Storm. Yeah. That's true.
Yes, she would. She would make a great Storm.
And when I saw her in 12 Years a Slave, I was like, oh my gosh, she should be Storm. And then they put her in Black Panther, not as Storm.
So make her Black Panther, and there we go. Yeah, so we'll see where they go with that. Obviously, Ryan Coogler obviously has to rewrite that entire script. We'll see how he goes about that.
Did you say something? You have froze.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. You were frozen.
Yeah, you froze there.
You said he had to rewrite the thing, and we'll see. And that's all I got. Do you say something after that?
Yeah, I was saying he had to rewrite the entire script. Yeah. That was a bit. I guess you guys got it.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So, all right, Danica, what interesting facts did you have?
Let's start with casting. Michael B. Jordan originally auditioned for the role of Sam Wilson / the Falcon. I like who they chose for that. I prefer Anthony Mackie.
I think he would have done well in the role. I like him better in this role. Unfortunately, I wish that he had more time in the MCU rather than just one movie.
Yeah, can we tired? They killed Claw and they killed off him. And I'm like, I feel like two people that could have had bigger roles in the MCU.
Yeah, I agree with that. I forgot to mention it. Yeah, you're right. Especially both of them. Claw, I'm like, yo, you could definitely use him more. And in this movie, Andy Serkis killed that. Like his character is insane. Like just absolutely insane. And I was like, can you imagine him as the main villain in something? And we never got him as the main villain. That could have been Black Panther 2 or 3, whatever you want to do. But we killed him off. And then Killmonger, while it was a powerful scene, his death, absolute powerful scene, we won't get him back. But I think there's a caveat to that. They could have saved his life anyway.
Yeah, but then, I mean, you're going to disrespect the guy's wishes? He wanted to die. And we'll talk about that later. But watching it, I was just like, man, it would have been great if we'd have kept these two characters. And I'm like, really, Marvel, stop killing people. Whatever.
True, like how we got Loki over. Like we do need a overarching villain, even if they become good later on or whatever. You need somebody to follow movies. Do we have anybody like that anymore? Loki's gone, so
no.
I
a
think we
new
need
person.
somebody like that.
We don't.
So yeah, so that was that. Okay, I do not know how to pronounce these people's names, and I'm sorry. We're gonna start off with John Singleton was considered to direct, and he was gonna use Ichiro Ofor whatever. He ended up being Doctor Strange.
Chiwetel. Oh, now I can't say it, but yes, I know what you're saying. Yeah, he's in Doctor
I
Strange.
think that would have been
Oh, he plays Marimoto.
Yeah,
yeah. I could see him as Black Panther. That's not a
yeah,
bad choice.
not better than Chadwick Boseman though.
No,
Sorry.
okay, all right. So here's some other options for T'Challa. He ended up in I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Digimon Han Solo. Him.
Jaimin Hansu.
Yes.
All right. For anybody who doesn't know, in our personal lives, we like to call him Digimon Han Solo. I know it's wrong, but it's funny. So, but whenever we say that, we mean Jaimin Hansu. But go ahead.
Yeah. They
Oh, the
considered
from Amistad.
yeah, and he also ended up in the MCU as someone completely different. And then the guy who played Wombosi in The Bourne Identity,
I don't remember that.
he was also in Lost.
Oh, wait, I do remember
And-
that. Okay.
And yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. He got 3 names. I don't know how to pronounce neither one of them. It's Adewale Akikowai.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, don't know. And then, as the role of M'Baku, which I thought, like, this might have been good. Although Winston Duke does well. This might have been good. The guy who plays Black Manta in Aquaman.
Oh, yes. Because I think in Aquaman, he did a good job as Black Manta. That was excellent. And I think he would have fit that role too. I like Winston Duke though, so it wasn't a bad choice. As for T'Challa, I like those actors, but I feel like Chadwick Boseman was just the pinnacle of what we would have gotten there.
We would have been good with any one of those people. I think Chadwick Boseman, though, was just excellent for the role. I mean, none of those people would have been bad choices, but I think he was the best option. All right. That was it for casting. I should have looked up I don't know. I didn't look up none of the women in the movie. My bad.
Wow, by as much.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But they're both excellent in the roles, and I don't want anyone else to replace them. This was the first live action movie shown in Saudi Arabia in 35 years. So shout out to that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. This is like the first movie they went with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie re-earned its budget within the first weekend and earned $202 million. It had a $200 million budget.
That's how you do it right there.
That is how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it was also the first non-Avenger movies to get $1 billion too.
Was it the first one?
I think non-Avengers, yeah.
So this is when they start hitting $1 billion. Thor Ragnarok didn't get $1 billion? No. I guess
No.
not.
Oh, nah.
So it was this, then Infinity War, then Captain
Those
Marvel.
are both Avengers movies.
Okay, so Captain Marvel was the second.
Captain Marvel, yeah. Captain
Which
Marvel
doesn't deserve $1 billion, but whatever.
It does not. Interesting enough, Black Panther was the first superhero that Marvel's got the rights back to. They're not open with Black Panther, but they got his rights back first in 2005.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't have opened with Black Panther either.
I mean, no, for reasons.
Who had the rights to Black Panther?
I don't know. Nobody made a movie, so.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think for kicking off a universe, I don't think Black Panther would have been the right choice.
No, and I mean, not because he's not well known, and do you have a lot of people? Even when this movie came out, you had a lot of people saying, "Will it work?"
Yeah, obviously they're wrong. I think even in 2008, it would have worked. Like it could have worked in 2008. I think it did better coming off the back of the other Marvel movies.
Point you have an audience. At this point, you got people that sold on the MCU.
Yeah.
And to kick it off, I don't know. I mean, will it still be a good movie? Absolutely.
Yeah,
when you
I
have
think
such a following.
I think if you started with Black Panther, what would have happened was, because I have no doubt. But then again, would you have gotten like Ryan Coogler as a director? I feel like they would have done something dumb.
Yeah, because when did Fruitville
It
Station come
definitely
out?
would have went. It definitely would have went a different route, and I don't think it would have been as good as
Yeah,
this movie turned
it
out.
would have been
Yeah,
safer. Yeah, but they might have still rolled out a good movie. Because let's say they used John Favreau still, they probably could have done a good movie. Um, what would have happened was I don't think it would have done as well in theaters. Would have done well, but I think it would have been a kind of after the fact thing, like, oh hey, this movie is good, and then like become popular after its theatrical run.
any benefits for coming out when it came out, for sure. Um, so speaking of that, Wesley Snipes back in the 90s wanted to play the Black Panther. I could see that, especially in the 90s.
Yeah,
But, there was
yeah, in the
some
90s.
limitations
Yeah.
with, special effects and technology and stuff. And then there was some other issues with the script and the directors, whatever. Anyways, it never got off the ground and it didn't happen.
I'm glad.
What's with the face, Darren?
You know? I don't know. I don't really like Wesley Snipes, so not a fan. Not a fan of Wesley Snipes.
In the 90s.
Yeah,
But,
I know. Yeah, it might have worked in the 90s. Yeah, oh, before everyone angry comments in the comic section, we know Black Panther was not the first black superhero to make it to the theaters, whatever. It still was a big deal, though. So
it was a big deal because one, Blade was not marketed as a superhero movie, so that's why it was also made a huge difference. And they purposely did not market Blade as a superhero movie for that very reason.
Yeah.
Just saying. So we know it's not the first, but it's still meant a lot for that very reason. So the director
Yep.
wanted to feature Kraven the Hunter, which I thought was interesting.
they couldn't use that at that point, can? Oh wait, maybe they could have.
They couldn't have, because even though he is a Black Panther villain, he is primarily a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah, but this was after Civil War. Could they? That wasn't a part of the deal.
That wasn't part of the deal.
Hmm.
And they weren't they already
Yeah, they
working
could
on
only
Black Panther
use
anyways?
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think Sony wanted to do a Craven movie. I think they still want to do a Craven movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what Sony doing. I'm not going to get started on them. All right.
Okay, so at the end of the movie, where we say had a lot of many, and Killmonger says the line, like, Black Panther's like, I can probably heal you. And then he says, why? So you can lock me up, just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped ships because they knew that death was better than bondage, right?
Yeah.
Powerful statement.
Yep.
So he thought that Marvel was going to make him cut that line. And when Kevin Feige went over the script, they was like, look, no matter what else happens to the script, that line stays in. Not only that, he told them that they should actually make the whole movie about that.
Interesting.
Yeah, which he was thinking like, this is too risky. There's no way they're going to let me do it. And Marvel was like, no, we should absolutely keep it.
Here's the thing about Marvel. They've always been, I know a lot of people complain about it, saying, oh, they're always on some SJW stuff or whatever, which I think is just a hot line to use whenever you disagree with stuff. Not saying that there isn't some real problems sometimes, but Marvel has always been this kind of progressive. Like, they've always been touching on the topics at the time, right? That's why they came out with Captain America in World War II. Black Panther came out during the 60s, right?
During the 60s, shortly before the Black Panther group came out, which they temporarily changed the name to the Black Leopard, but everyone's like, that sucks. We're not going to confuse them with the group.
So you got that, X-Men, Inhumans, all that stuff. They've always been on that, commentating on things. So, like, to me, it makes sense that they were like, yeah, make it about this, keep this in, because to me, that seems like Marvel's identity.
Yeah, it always touched on the social topics. That's why everyone can always relate to someone, just some character in the Marvel comics, because it's that it was everyday life that they were talking about, things that people were experiencing every day. So yeah, I think it was nice that they didn't just like, no, let's just let's, don't touch on that topic since, people get very sensitive about these things.
No, but I'm glad they did because that, let's be honest, that was a powerful line. I mean,
Yeah.
even in watching the movie the first time, I'm like, dang, man, you know, it's like you, like I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, you have empathy for the villain here, right? Because you know exactly how he's feeling and where he's coming from. You know that he's not right in his solution and he's obviously gone off the deep end, but you know why he's upset and you get it. And a line like that just, it drives home the point. You get it. And it, like, to me, that just made the character more powerful. It made the movie more powerful.
So speaking of Killmonger, he's actually based on 3 different people from the comics. He's based on, obviously, Killmonger, who tries to overthrow Wakanda. He's also based off of the White Wolf, who I guess is somehow related to the Black Panther in some kind of way.
Yeah. T'Chaka adopted a kid who was white.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So
That's
because he becomes in Extremis. So that's Killmonger in this movie. He is in Extremis. And then he's also based off of someone named Tashawn. Don't know who that guy is. He just said he's T'Challa's envious cousins. I don't know who these people are. I don't read comics, but Killmonger was based off of those 3 characters.
Okay.
And so are you ready for nitpicks?
Sure thing.
Okay, Black Panther is a redundant name.
Is it?
Yes.
Because Panthers are
because
black?
All Panthers are black. And Panthers are just black leopards.
Oh, that's true. They're just black leopards. That's true.
Right. So you can't be a Panther unless you're black.
Right. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's redundant.
Oh, is that why they're calling him the Black Leopard? Because he was a panther, and they're like, oh, we call him Black Leopard. It's the same thing. That's probably what they were thinking.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I mean, in nature, we don't call them black leopards either, though.
No, we just call them panthers.
Okay.
True. We're not calling him a Black Panther. Of course he's black. Otherwise, he wouldn't be a panther.
Well, I don't know. Just Panther doesn't sound good, okay? Sounds dumb.
I mean, it's dumb, but it's redundant. Of course it is.
All right, why is this movie nitpick? The comic book characters called Black Panther.
Fine, it's just a general nitpick. Okay, my next nitpick is not a movie either. It's a comic book thing. Okay. Vibranium can do everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. It does literally everything.
Yeah, a lot of people have problems with that in this movie. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It does everything. I don't know why it does everything. It does, though. But I don't know. You find materials like that. Like, everybody's been clamoring for graphene forever, and apparently it's going to do everything. Like
everything? Will it help us fly and make weapons and power our cars?
Apparently. Because apparently it's a good material to use in batteries, so it can create energy for us, and it's a strong material. I'm like, it's, yeah, I don't know.
Vibranium is a communication system. It powers the city. It makes weapons. It gives you super cat-like powers. I just don't understand.
Yeah. And heals you. Also stabilizes a bullet wound to the spine, apparently.
Right. And then can heal you.
And then heals you afterwards, yeah. It's not about that.
Just ridiculous.
It does everything. I don't know. But that's comic books? I don't know.
But it's also an alien mineral, though, so...
Yeah, they like to do that with stuff from outer space, don't they? It's from outer space, therefore it can do whatever.
Right, therefore we don't have to explain this ridiculousness. That's what they're saying. It's from outer space, so whatever.
I mean, I can suspend my disbelief while watching these movies, but yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about that, we know Captain America's shield does not, like, I mean, Spider-Man even mentions it. It doesn't follow the laws of physics. Does it absorb energy or not? Because it seems to reflect it and absorb it, and, like, things don't make sense with it, okay? And apparently it's because it's vibranium. So
have a harder time. I have an easier time letting that go than watching this movie and watch this purple goo literally do everything. It can stop cars. It can create an EMP. Just like how?
You know what I was wondering? How did they take the Black Panther powers away? Like, what did they use that counteracts the vibranium? Like, what to do with that?
No, I thought his
this purple
power
juice that
came
they
from the plant.
Which is the plant? Oh well, okay. So, all right, Danica. All right. So, I think we're getting those apart. He's not just drinking vibranium. The vibranium mutated the plant life, which made the plant give you special powers.
Okay, the heart-shaped orb. All right,
yeah.
All right. Since we're talking about this, they're all gone, right?
No, they definitely had a seed vault. You just don't have. You don't. You gotta have.
They had a farm, and Killmonger burned the farm.
You gotta have a backup.
They have some seeds. They got some seeds going somewhere.
She went there and she stole one flower. She didn't steal two flowers. She stole one. And then his mama came in there with a spice bowl, mixed it all up, and gave it to him. Which, by the way, can bring a man back from the dead too.
Also, I didn't get how the snow was keeping him alive. I'm like, excuse me, I was going to say something else. He dead, okay?
He wasn't dead. He was in
that dude is dead. He said if he took him out of the snow, he'd be dead in seconds. What kind of snow?
He was in a coma.
Snow and magic flowers.
Was it vibranium laced snow?
Probably. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know what they about to do in this second movie, but they about to yada yada on how we got some more Black Panthers going on in here.
Yeah, because they had a seed vault. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You don't have something that powerful and you just have this small garden of it and that's it. Like, you don't have a backup. You didn't say, come on. You got a seed garden. You got to.
Seriously? I mean, you acting like a farmers have a backup farm just in case the first farm catch on fire.
Probably have some seeds they can plant. Yeah. We have a vault of seeds for the human race.
Okay. All right. Vault somewhere. Well, okay, no. If that was true, then that old lady would not have been, but this is how we do the thing. And he's like, burn it. First of all, why not just kill him? If they had a backup, she'd have been like, all right, fire. So, yeah.
Whatever. I mean, it'll be easy because, like, the Black Panther has to have power. Like, you can't be just human. Seems wrong. Well, I mean, you got the vibranium suit. That does something, right?
Yeah, but
basically, it acts like Captain America's shield.
Well, you also got to be stronger, though, right? I mean, I guess because remember, he didn't always have the special suit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, do you have to be king to be the Black Panther?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, which one of you guys are wrong?
When he introduced when he introduced T'Challa before he fought for King, he said he was the Black Panther. He was currently the Black Panther. The Black Panther is a different mantle. But my question
is that allowed?
Because T'Challa's father wasn't Black Panther anymore.
That's why I'm bringing it up. Because T'Challa was running around in a cat suit before his daddy died.
Right. So you don't have to be currently king to be Black Panther. I think the mantle is still passed down within the family, but you don't have to be king. Because he became king and Black Panther after he won, but he was already Black Panther. Even in this movie, they introduced him as the current Black Panther. So that means he was able to be Black Panther beforehand. And even in Civil War, he had the suit and everything. It wasn't anything special. He had it. And it wasn't a nano suit like his sister made. He had to put that one on. So it was made to fit him, meaning he already had it.
I'm wondering if they did some stuff. I know he already had it. I'm saying, was he allowed to already have it? Because they make it seem like you're king and then you become the Black Panther. Because in that case, Killmonger didn't need to be king.
Or given the heart-shaped herb.
Yeah.
Maybe all the kings are given the heart-shaped herb, though.
I don't know. I feel like there's some rules we're skipping. or they didn't expand on it. Maybe they should have.
Or maybe
They didn't expand on it because I googled it and it was like the king of Wakanda does not always have to be the Black Panther, but it wasn't really explained. And it said they didn't say, but it just showed that T'Challa was already Black Panther while his father was still king.
Yeah, but maybe because
So
they
they
expected,
never really explained it.
maybe there's no rule, but they kind of like tradition. The king is also Black Panther, and since T'Chaka couldn't be Black Panther anymore, and they expected T'Challa to be king, they passed the mantle down already. Because it is a separate thing, they could have just passed that down. Like he could have just passed that down to his son before he was king.
Okay.
That was a very interesting question. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, they said it wasn't really explained.
Yeah.
And it was like based on how it was shown. The answer is no.
Yeah, but I guess my question is like, was it shown correctly? Who knows?
But then that leads to the question, like Danica brought up, why did Killmonger become a Black Panther then?
Yeah. I mean, because with Killmonger, it made it seem like it had to be one and the same.
Correct. Yeah. Right. True. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll tell you why. Because Black Panther had to fight somebody exactly like himself in this movie. All right.
Hey, thanks for answering that for the rest of the row. Okay, so M'Baku found T'Challa and he just wasn't going to tell people that he was still alive. He was just going to leave that boy in the snow and not say anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, what was his plan there? Huh. Maybe he was trying to heal him. Like, maybe he
wasn't.
You know, yeah, it could have. It wasn't enough time.
That's my other thing. How much time has passed?
Man, this was like 2 days.
You don't know what in superhero movies, and not just all hero movies. It'd only be 2 days.
It could be 2 days or 2 months. I was like, what is this movie timeline? There's a lot happened.
A whole lot did happen. He became king. He went after Claw. He lost Claw. Then Killmonger came. Killmonger became queen. The Border tribe mutiny. Also, old dude that was supposed to be his friend. Excuse me. You're the worst friend ever. Like, he straight up turned on him with the quickness. Just.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was like, he didn't even think about it. He's just like, nah, I'm with this dude now. Just weird.
And then
I'm like,
ready just to kill his own people. Like, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just making say Wakanda had some issues before Killmonger came along.
Mm-hmm. Well, you heard him in the beginning of the movie because Nakia is like, we need to go out and help people, and he's like, nah, I don't agree with that. But if you want to tell me we need to go wage war against these countries, I'm all down for it. It was something wrong with him in the first place.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So when Killmonger breaks Claw out from the CIA thing, like, they had time to go after him, right? They just let him drive away. I feel like this is no different than when you went after them after the casino. You could have did the same thing.
True. Also, I thought they just let T'Challa take Ross. Said we can help him, and they just let him take it. You think this is a third world country, right? So
why would you ever?
Why would
like one? He's definitely going to die before you get him on an airplane. Like, we can save him. I'd be like, first of all, who are you?
I don't know. I just thought that when I was watching it this time. I was like, wait, why would the CIA let them take him?
It's weird. And then no one in the CIA decided to go after them. Like, just weird. They were just like, okay.
It would at least brought 1 or 2 more operatives to go with them.
Yeah.
Something. And then I just feel like y'all just gonna show, like, what made you think? First of all, let's be clear, this movie takes place a week after Civil War. There's no way the Black Panther trusts Ross enough to bring him to your secret world of Wakanda and just let him run around the country. You do not trust like someone from the CIA that much, and you met him a week ago.
I don't know. He did take Winter Soldier, so
maybe that's just T'Challa. You can trust America. That's different.
Okay.
Okay. One more thing. Did Killmonger need to do all of this extra stuff he was doing? Like, couldn't he have just killed Claw and dropped him off at Wakanda? Did we need the whole first 80 minutes of this movie?
I thought about this because at first that was a nitpick of mine a while back, but he did that. Remember, he gave Claw the vibranium, putting Claw on Wakanda's radar. That way, Black Panther would have a chance to try and capture Claw, fail at it, and then he brings Claw in. Now Claw's on the Wakandans' minds. They know that their king failed to do it. Gives him a real reason to say that I should be the king. I did this and your king couldn't.
I agree with you, because remember, Claw was always on their mind from what he did to them 30 years ago. No one forgot about that. That's the reason why his friend immediately jumped ship, because they didn't repay for what they did 30 years ago. So I feel like no one forgot who Claw was. So Killmonger could very well have hopped on their doorstep and said, yo, this guy you've been looking for the last 30 years, I got him. Not only that, I am in the bloodline. Like, so I still don't think.
But does it make part of the country? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I don't think he really needed to be all of this. Hey, let me put him on the radar so you can fail. It's just, he didn't need it.
He probably didn't, but here's the thing. Does it make part of the country lose faith in the current king? This is a brand new king or whatever. And now that you had him try and fail, now you have proof that, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have faith in this guy.
There's no guarantee he was going to fail.
I don't know.
He's going to try and fail. Like, how could you guarantee that he was going to fail to capture Claw? Because remember, he could have killed Claw.
True.
Yeah.
And he had no idea that T'Challa wasn't going to be able to do it. T'Challa could have been just like his father.
True.
So I don't know. I think my nitpick stands.
Okay. I feel you.
All right. That was it. That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last nitpick. Okay, cool. All right, what we got next? Favorite lines?
Yeah.
Man, there's actually quite a few. Obviously, we got the last line by Killmonger. That was strong. Just whip your hair back and forth.
Wait a minute, hold on. Let's back up. Where did she get that spear from? Like, was it hidden in the bracelets?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, where'd that come from?
Oh wait, no, they got in their car, so the spear might have been in the car.
No, she pulled that spear out in the casino.
Oh, that's right, she did. It's retractable. Let's just say it's retractable.
I think it's retractable.
It's yeah, but still, how smart does it retract?
Right, it's vibranium. It becomes an atom.
Yep, it does everything.
It does everything.
It does everything. How could you forget?
Yeah. So okay. You got that. Man, there's some other good lines in there. No, I can't think.
Hi, Auntie.
Oh, hey, Auntie. Hey, Auntie. What do you got, Danica?
No, I don't know if there was any one just by itself. I do particularly like his last line in the movie, which I think probably would just be the winner.
Yeah. Or with M'Baku was, if you say one more word, I'll feed you to my children.
Just kidding. We are vegetarians.
Just kidding. We're vegetarians.
Or what about, are you done? Are you done?
And I never freeze.
Yeah.
Did he freeze?
Did he freeze? Yeah, like a deer in headlights. Antelope in headlights. Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about Shuri made the shoes and she calls them sneakers because they don't make sounds?
Yeah. Oh, and she said, "What are those?"
No, let's not talk about that. It's a dead meme, and they should never put it in a movie. It's dumb. Now it's forever solidified in this movie. It's dumb. Oh,
I like it.
Don't scare me, colonizer. I know this was divisive for some people, but I thought it was funny. So, yeah. When she called Ross a colonizer, which actually I thought made sense in the movie. Shuri has never been outside of Wakanda. Probably has a certain view of a certain group of people. Nobody says she was right for calling him a colonizer, but yeah, like I don't know. I think they're.
I think it makes sense for you have an Africa country that's shut themselves off from the rest of the world. You know the history of people coming to Africa. I feel like that's something she very well may have said.
Yeah.
Same thing with how M'Baku treated Ross when Ross was in his lair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, was he purposely messing with him? Yes. Was it kind of racist? Yeah. But I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense. And it was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know people got offended by being called a colonizer.
T'Challa was that line was pretty good too.
What?
Where it was like, "Oh mercy, King, mercy." It was like every breath you take is mercy for me.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool.
I like that line.
I just have to say I like Killmonger's theme. It's kind of sick.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's got the African undertones with like hip hop over it, which like it's just it's sick. It's kind of sick. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think all of their themes, like I think Black Panther's theme was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Sure. Marvel does good on their themes. Like it kind of brings you in. You're like, oh, the Black Panther's coming. You know, it's just like when the Avengers theme song, which I always will absolutely love.
I'm going to admit, I watched Infinity War yesterday.
See, I said I wanted to watch it. You're like, we're getting ready to watch it.
I know, but like this person had a watch along, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch it. So, and it was their first time watching the movie, so I wanted to see their reactions to everything. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again. Don't worry, I can watch that movie again. It's okay. But I remember the opening and the Avengers theme played, and I was like, "Oh yes, that is amazing."
Yeah, I was thinking, when Captain America shows up for the first time, perfect.
Or when Thor showed up in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yep.
That scene, dude. Oh my gosh, we'll talk about it when we do our rewind, which is the next rewind. It's Infinity.
Yes, it is.
Oh, or 3 weeks from now.
Might be 2-3 weeks before we get to it.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, because we got a couple of things to do before then. But yeah, we're gonna get to it. Which we reviewed Infinity War before. We're gonna do it again. Whatever. Who cares? Maybe we'll have some new takes. We won't. It's okay. Anything else on Black Panther?
I think that's it. We just gotta rank it.
I think that's it.
Oh, we have to rank it. Man, it's really close to best movie ever, but I'm gonna put it. I pay for that.
I will also put it as pay for that because it is really good, but it is honestly not my top 5 MCU movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with. I'm leaning towards with Darren, whereas like I'm leaning toward best movie ever, but it's not quite that. So I'm gonna go with I pay for that.
All right, and for those of you who don't know, I pay for that is our second best rating. So obviously we think this movie is really good. If it was 1 out of 10, this would make this movie at least an 8 out of 10.
Yes,
which
or 4 out of 5.
Yeah, or 4 out of 5. Yeah. So yeah, obviously really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been. Check out Black Panther. It's awesome. Also check out the other 23 movies in the MCU. It's a thing now. I feel like during the quarantine, like, because I've been seeing a lot of people on YouTube, like, okay, my first time watching the MCU, and like a lot of people that haven't watched it are like, wow, like this whole saga is pretty awesome. So I feel like this year has given like Marvel some more fans.
Yeah, I would say. I mean,
that's good.
You figured if you need something to watch over the last 9 months, I mean, why not watch a movie series that's 23 movies long? I mean, when we decided to rewatch this in the beginning, I was like, there's no way we're going to finish this.
And we're almost done. Within a year.
Thanks to COVID-19.
We only decided because we had nothing to talk about. Oh my gosh.
And everything was on hold for like the first 3 months.
Yeah. So here's hoping we have something to talk about in 2021. It's
Well,
hard to do a movie podcast without movies.
we do have the Disney Plus shows, so that's
There's a
something.
lot of them. I peeped what
Yeah.
Disney was doing. Coco just came out, right?
So
Yeah.
Then you
So-
have Coco's run in, and then you have
again, the name of the movie
WandaVision.
is Soul.
So I said Coco.
So-
My bad.
Yeah.
Those are already movie that exists.
That yes, it was in the right company though. Soul just came out. Its run's gonna end, then WandaVision comes out. Like the way Disney is doing it is a very smart business plan because they are giving everyone reason to keep their subscription. It's not like HBO Max when Wonder Woman comes out, I keep my subscription, I get rid of it, and because there's nothing else for me to watch until Justice League comes out or whatever. Like there's something to watch on Disney Plus every single month, and I think that's smart on their part.
I mean, I agree. This is why they're doing it, so you will never cancel. Because when WandaVision ends, Falcon and Winter Soldier starts, blah 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 blah. It
Yeah.
kind of sucks because I want to cancel Disney Plus,
Yeah.
but the way
And Soul came out 2 weeks after Mandalorian.
so
ended.
Mandalorian ends, they drop a new movie. That movie dropped on Christmas. Everyone's at home to watch it. Right? People get tired of that movie. Now WandaVision. So I mean, yes, it is a good business move. It I guess sucks for the rest of us that really don't want to pay for Disney Plus
And
anymore.
we saw that investors meeting. There is a ton of content going to be on Disney Plus. Like, it's just a ton. They're making use of
2021.
all of their stuff. Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars. Like, they're just, if you need something to watch, it's going to be on Disney Plus. So,
Mhm.
When
yeah.
are they gonna release the rest of their Fox stuff? Is what I'm worrying about.
I'm not
You know.
sure. Some other stuff released on Disney
I think
Plus.
Fox has a lot of contracts with like other things though
Yeah.
that have to run out.
That might be part of it. You did see that they're having that Alien show come out.
That ought to be interesting, I guess. I don't know.
It's
just want
Ridley
them to
Scott
show-
and
Is it gonna be called Ripley?
no,
Okay.
I don't think so. But the director from Alien is doing it, and well, he's not doing it. He's like consulting on it, and I forgot who's the director. He's a good director. Oh, the guy who did Legion.
Oh, okay. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But so
Oh, okay.
the movie, forget the TV show. Just give me the two movies, the first two movies. I don't really care about the rest of them.
It'll show up somewhere. It's not on Hulu.
No, it's not on Hulu.
It's probably contracted for. Come on, you know, Alien's a show you show on cable all the time, or a movie you show on cable all the time. Somebody has a contract for Aliens.
Well, I don't have cable, so I don't know.
They show it a lot during the summer on cable.
Yeah,
Comes on a lot during the summer.
What channel?
FX.
FX.
Fox.
Well, yeah, FX is owned by Disney now, so
So
Yeah.
where
But I
But
don't
you say
know.
it with power.
Is it if it's contracted? It's contracted. Even if they own it, I don't think they can just go, okay, well, we're gonna put it on Disney Plus. I think it has to.
Yeah.
I think they still have to honor that.
Because that was the issue with The Simpsons.
okay,
And
But
then
what I'm saying is-
they let them go ahead and put
FX
it on.
it's currently on Hulu right now. So
Oh.
if FX can show this movie, why is it not on Hulu?
I don't know.
That part, I don't know.
That's all. I mean, this whole thing is just me wanting to watch Alien and I can't. That's just what this whole thing is about.
We definitely need to review Alien. Can we review Alien? I don't know. We'll.
Sure, we can.
Yeah. Yeah, we can. I'm going to go with yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wanted to do a little small bit of angry comments. This wasn't really an angry comment, but we did get some comments about our Wonder Woman review last week, and they didn't put a mean comment, but I don't think they were too happy with our review. And so this person pointed out, hopefully they're listening again. They probably never listen again, but they pointed out to us that Wonder Woman was a good movie and that it explored social and racial issues. That was important for today. I personally saw no racial issues raised in this movie. Maybe
I
the
mean,
Middle Eastern guy raising a wall to keep some of the other Middle Eastern people out. That I guess
a
you could.
lot of non-white people in this movie.
Um, no, there wasn't a lot besides Wonder Woman herself. I'm not sure anyone else. And
And
Maxwell
his
Lord's
son.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any non-white people?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look. I would like. I'm not going to sit there and completely disregard this guy's comment. I would like an example.
Yeah.
Like, what were the issues that they brought out, and when in the movie did they bring it out? Because I didn't see it. I am always open to other people's interpretations of a movie,
Yeah.
but I personally did not see this.
And I want to make something clear. Like,
Yeah.
Wonder Woman doesn't have to touch on any racial or social issues. That's not. It really doesn't. I mean, the first movie definitely touched on like the consequences of war, which was strong. Strong social issue there. But like, it's not required to. But since this person is saying that the movie is touching on racial issues, I kind of want to see, like, yeah, please tell me what did it touch on?
I kind of wish he would have said what it touched, because I didn't see that in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think it
Either,
was.
I mean, unless there was something we missing, like oversight.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's looking to this movie as an example of, you know, learning a learning example for a racial issue.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it did, and maybe because as I was watching it, and since I did not enjoy watching it, I wasn't paying close attention enough to the issues that were raised. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think that this movie touched on it at all. I mean, Black Panther touched on racial and social issues.
Yes, definitely, purposely.
Yeah.
I feel like
I
if
did
this
not
movie
see
did, it
that.
was a mistake.
Maybe there was other issues raised in this movie, but those weren't the two issues that were
Yeah,
raised in
I
this
think the
movie.
main issue of this movie was kind of greed and selfishness.
Yeah.
That's probably the issue. That's why I didn't mention the social issues, because obviously that is a social issue, and I think that's what it was trying to touch on. I don't think anything else.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but if the guy want to comment back in a nicer tone and tell us what we missed, by all means.
Yeah, he said he was sorry we didn't see it, so we didn't. I'm going to admit that we did not see it. Please show us. Other than that, I still think Wonder Woman 84 was trash, even if it did touch on a racial issue. Still trash. If you touch on racial issues, you should make it more clear that you're commenting on racial issues. No one's questioning that X-Men is commenting on racial issues or
Zootopia.
Yeah, or Zootopia. Or I don't know. Maybe I'm just too slow. I'm not gonna say I'm a smart person. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to see this. So please show me. But yeah, other than that, I will re-rate Wonder Woman after finding this out. It is trash. Okay, so that being said, any other comments from you two?
No. Black Panther was great. Wonder Woman sucked. I didn't see these issues in this movie, but okay.
All right. And to be clear, before anyone takes these sound bites, we're talking about Wonder Woman 84, not the first one that came out in 2017, I believe, which was also a strong movie. It was a good movie. That being said, thank you for listening / watching if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. We appreciate it. You could reach out to us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/3D Rivals. We also have a Gmail account if you want to send us an angry email instead of an angry comment. It is 3drivals@gmail.com. Or you can angrily tweet at us. We don't generally tweet, but we'll see your angry tweets at 3_rivals. So check that out if you will. That being said, thanks so much, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.